Every once in a while, a law passes that sounds incredibly simple. No tax on overtime, no tax on tips, and on the surface, it feels like a win. But in 2025, that promise quietly created a problem. Because once people started asking the obvious question, how much of my overtime and tips can I deduct, there wasn't a clear answer. Not for workers, not for accountants, and not for the systems that were supposed to handle it. Here's why. Most people assume tax deductions just show up. For 2025, employers weren't even required to provide it. The law passed mid-year, but it applied retroactively to January 1st. You work overtime, your employer tracks it, payroll calculates it, tax software figures it out. But that's not how this one works. Tax software prepares tax returns. It does not reconstruct how someone was paid. And the deductible part of overtime and tips is not on the W-2. Payroll systems paid people correctly, but they weren't built to calculate deductibility. And tax software assumes the number already exists. It doesn't. So the entire gap landed in the middle, on accountants. Suddenly, accountants are explaining rules they didn't write, answering questions clients don't understand, and rebuilding math, one person at a time. And the math is not intuitive. Only the overtime premium qualifies, not base pay, not daily overtime, not everything labeled OT. Tips qualify until they don't. Bonuses change the math. Multiple employers complicate the limits. None of this is visible on a standard tax form. And yet, accountants are expected to make it make sense. At some point, every accountant reaches the same fork in the road. Do you rebuild this carefully, or do you decide it isn't worth defending? Both are professional choices. What actually matters is having a plan before every client asks the same question. That's why Deductzen exists. Deductzen is a consumer-facing calculator built specifically for this problem. You don't do the math. Your tax software doesn't do the math. Deductzen does. Here's how it works. You send your client a link. They enter their information. Deductzen calculates what qualifies, what doesn't, and all the required adjustments and limits. You receive a clean, reviewable result that you can use in tax prep or decide not to. Deductzen doesn't file returns. It doesn't replace your tax software. And it doesn't tell anyone what to claim. It calculates the number your software assumed already existed. You stay the advisor. You stay the system of record. Deductzen just hands you the math you were never supposed to reconstruct by hand. And here's the part that puts this in perspective. For eligible workers, this deduction can be worth thousands of dollars.
Up to $37,500 per year when overtime and tips qualify and are calculated correctly.
But that number doesn't exist automatically. It has to be calculated. Deductzen costs $99. And here's the guarantee. If Deductzen doesn't find at least $99 in deductible value, you get the $99 back. You don't pay to learn that the deduction isn't worth claiming. So when the potential upside is measured in thousands and the downside is zero, the real risk isn't using the calculator. It's walking into tax season without a number.
If you choose to use it, you can share Deductzen with your clients and give them a 10% discount. As a thank you, you receive 30% per client. And if you share Deductzen with another accountant who joins through you, you receive 10% of whatever their clients use the tool for. It's completely optional. If you don't want it, you can turn it off. Deductzen works the same either way. The goal isn't selling anything. It's giving your clients a clear answer and being recognized for pointing them to the solution.
And here's the important part. 2025 is the hardest year this will ever be. The rules were retroactive. The data wasn't provided. Everyone is figuring it out at once. Next year gets easier, but this year requires a system. So instead of explaining the same confusion over and over, instead of rebuilding one-off math for every client, you send Deductzen ahead of time. They complete it before the appointment, and you walk into tax season prepared. Deductzen is free for accountants. Clients pay $99, only if it finds at least $99 in deductions. This here isn't about finding deductions. It's about surviving the ones everyone is asking about.
Deductzen gives you a way through it.